Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, coming to you from my back porch on Tuesday, April 25th, around 2:45. All right, what are you drinking? What are you smoking? All right, for what are you smoking? I'm smoking an LFD, La Fleur Dominica, and this is the Colorado Oscuro. There you go. All right, a little dark and dirty today, baby. Mm. Mm. All right, and then I've been drinking it a lot lately here, but we've got the old St. Arnold's French press coffee porter, okay, and once again been doing that for did that one I think last week, but let's. Oh, yeah. All right, this should be a 12-ounce glass right here. Look at that, boom! Oh yeah, look at that thing go. All right, cheers, everybody. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right. Well, that's not a bad one. Not a bad one, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty tasty there. Good smoke, good smoke. All right. Well, I am wearing my Astros gear today, but we've got some we have got some news to get to now. Yesterday, of course, the big breaking news was Aaron Rodgers finally agreed to a trade to the New York Jets. And let's see here. Boom, boom. All right. So this was per Aaron per Schefter on ESPN, but he's the one that broke it, and then but so Schefter reported this. Hmm. Oh, that's good. Anyway, uh, but here's the story from Rich Simeon and Rob Demotsky. But it says for the second time in 15 years, the Green Bay Packers are trading an aging icon to the New York Jets. It says the Packers agreed Monday to deal quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And here's the picks. All right, so Aaron Rodgers in their 2023 first round pick, which is number 15 overall. So they're going to send the number 15 overall pick, first round pick, and Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. In return, the Packers get from the Jets. Basically, they swap picks this year. So the Packers are going to send their 15th overall to the Jets. The Jets send their 13th overall to the Packers. Then and the Packers also sent a 2023 fifth round pick to the Jets. The Jets get Aaron Rodgers, the number 15 overall pick this draft, and then they get a 2023 fifth round pick. Now the Jets send to Green Bay though their first round picks. Like I said, it's basically a pick swap for the first round. They then send a 2023 second round pick. Which is number 42 overall. They also sent a 2023 sixth round pick, number 207 overall, and a conditional 2024 second round pick that becomes first round if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays this season. So that is your deal that the Jets and the Packers come up with. Hmm. This is a big cigar. I probably should have V cut it instead of punching it, but hey, it works. Also, I might need to aerate it. But while I do that, I can still talk, I think. But I mean, the thing about Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers is an odd kid. Oh yeah, that needs to be aerated. All right, that's just aerating it. So you stick this little tool, and that just kind of loosens. tobacco up in there. But yeah, I think that just kind of needed that. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Sorry, I know this is exciting, but yeah, that was just a little. That was a little hard to kind of get a draw on. I like tight draws, but that was a little too tight for me too. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 All right, that was inspiring, is what that was. All right, so, but of course, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's just a strange duck, man. Like he's got family issues. I mean, to be completely honest with you, he may be the issue. I know when he was dating Olivia Munn, said some stuff. I mean, he goes through women left and right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, necessarily, but he hasn't really been able to hold a relationship. We'll just put it that way. We're never, not able to hold a relationship. I mean, the guy's almost 40 years old at this point. When's he gonna have to, maybe he's a lifetime bachelor, but I'm just saying. And then he goes into this darkness retreat, and then he kind of holds the Packers hostage. He's going to say that well, I want to retire a Packer, but this and that, and then doesn't want to talk to the Packers, and it's a whole thing. But basically, when you look up Diva in the dictionary, there's a picture of Aaron Rodgers there. I mean, it's just holy crap. But yeah, he's 39 years old. I don't know how much longer he's got left. Maybe a couple of years. I mean, last year was the worst year of his career, so the Packers are just happy to get rid of him. They're going to go with Jordan Love and see what Jordan Love can do. So we'll I guess see what happens with Jordan Love if he's going to be any good or not. But that's kind of where the Packers are at. The Jets, of course, get Rodgers because they've swung and missed at several quarterbacks here over the years. I mean, they tried Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald didn't work out. Then they went with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson hasn't worked out. Uh, Nobody apparently likes Zach Wilson. Except for aged milfs and cougar mamas. But the only people like Zach Wilson apparently. Those teammates didn't like him. Basically said they had no good leadership qualities, and then so Flacco started a few games, and then White came in there, and he was hurt a little bit. So I mean, I don't know what the Jets are getting. I don't know if the Jets are getting Aaron Rodgers from a couple, from 2020 Aaron Rodgers, or if they're getting 2022 Aaron Rodgers. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how this all plays out. But that was kind of the big news of the day. Also, the big news is that the Houston Rockets hired Ime Udoka to be their head coach. And I'm not a huge basketball fan by any stretch of the imagination, but when the Rockets fired Steven Silas, I was rooting for them to get Doko because number one, I think that it was kind of a little bit bullshit that he got fired in Boston for that. Now, the thing, I mean, look, I know the Boston, you're a company, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's your prerogative as far as that is concerned. Okay, I get it. Right, but and they had a no fraternization policy, which once again, I mean, I get that too, sort of, but. And now, granted, I mean, Adoku, I think, was married or had a girlfriend or something like that, and started this kind of, affair. But the thing about it is, with stuff like that, is a lot of people meet at work. A lot of people fall in love at work. A lot of people find their spouse at work, and there we go. Man, the thing was tightly packed. So anyway, and so I think it's kind of stupid to kind of have that unless you're using. And I guess the reason that they have that in there is so people in authority cannot abuse their power. But it's not like Adoku was like, hey, can you hire my girlfriend? Okay. And usually most companies, too, just will say, basically you have to recuse yourself, if somebody's hired or something like that. So, like, I mean, I kind of get it, but I think at the same time, I think it's kind of bullshit. And as far as we know, and we don't know all the details and everything, but as far as we know, it was two consenting adults that did this. And so there's really no reason for him to get fired. Okay. Now did he use his position of power? Now if he did, that was wrong and should have been fired for it. But if it's just two consenting adults, man, come on, who gives a shit? All right. So anyway, but when he was on the radar, I was like, man, the Rockets should swoop in and grab him because of what he did with Boston. I mean, he got Boston to the finals. What was that last year? He got him all the way to the finals. Damn good team. He kind of built him up. So I think he'll be a good coach for a rebuild with a lot of young players. We'll see what the Rockets get in the draft lottery. Hopefully they get the number one overall pick and pick up Victor Wembanyama. But we'll see how that goes. But like Tillman Fertitta said, pray for Victor. All right, we're gonna pray for Victor and see what that happens. But yeah, if that happens, I think the Rockets should be in some pretty good should be in some pretty good shape. So I like the hire a lot. I like what he does as a basketball coach. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his. And then also too, it's kind of cool that Houston still has three. They fired two. They fired two head coaches, but of course rehired two. But they still have three black head coaches. You got Dusty with the Astros, and then you had Steven Silas and Lovie Smith. Lovie and Steven got fired, but then they got replaced with the Marco Ryans, and now Iguodala. Not Iguodala. That's a player. Adoku. There we go. I forgot his name. And Adoku. So and all three of them are. D'Amico, I think, is going to be great. Is going to make a great head coach. Like I said, I like Duco. I think he's fantastic, and so I think we're going to have three good coaches in the city of Houston. Just so happens they're all three black, but that's which is a good thing for equality and diversity and all that kind of fun stuff. But like I said, all three of them are damn good. I mean, Dusty just won the World Series last year for crying out loud for the first time. So there you go. All right. Also in NBA news, the Raptors they they fired Nick Nurse. And that was the thing at first, is that Nick Nurse was the candidate for the Rockets, and then uh, Udoka was the candidate for the Raptors. But apparently, from what I read in, I think it was in ESPN or the Athletic, one of the two, that like everything moved real fast with the Rockets and Udoka. They had like a meeting, they had a second meeting, and they were like, "You're hired," and negotiated a contract, and that was pretty much it. So, like I said, I was glad to see that came down yesterday. So, really happy about that as a Rockets fan, and so I think the Rockets will get a little bit better. All right. Kind of as far as since I'm wearing my Rockets gear here, as far as baseball is concerned here, the Astros were unable to break Tampa Bay's winning streak at home. Now, the Rays have only lost 3 games all season. They have yet to lose a home game. The Astros ended up sweeping the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta over the weekend. 3 really good wins by the Astros. All 3 were comeback wins. Friday night on Apple TV, they were down 4-1, came back, tied the game, ended up winning that game. Then they were down 1-0 on Saturday, which isn't a big deficit or anything, but they were down, came from behind, won that game on Saturday. And then on Sunday, they were down 2-0, came back, tied it up, and then scored a couple more runs and ended up winning that game as well. I think they won that one by 3. So a good sweep. Astros got 2 games under 500. They were on fire. They were hot. They were going into Tampa. Tampa, of course, also hot. And Jose Acredi just not really pitching all that well. The Astros jumped out first. They scored 2 runs in the first inning, but then Tampa got the 2 runs right back, and then the final ended up being 8-2. Kind of wasn't pretty there. Katie got pulled in the fourth inning, didn't even make it through 4 innings. So we'll see what happens tonight. Got Cha-Cha Luis Garcia going tonight for the Astros against the Tampa Bay Rays, and then they'll finish the series out tomorrow on Wednesday, which I think may be a day game. I can't remember. Let me pull up. Um, all right, let me see. All right. Let's see. They played. Let's see. Today's a 5:40 start. No, tomorrow's 5:42. Okay, but that's Eastern, well, Central time. So 6:40 Eastern time starts. But then tomorrow, then the Astros have an off day Thursday, and then I'll be at the game Friday. That one's also on Apple TV. But I'll be at the game Friday for the World Series rematch from last year. It'll be the Phillies coming to town for 3 as well. Besides the Tampa just being fucking stupid good, and Pittsburgh's off to a good start too. I'm not going to do the standings or anything like that because it's fucking April. All right, but just to let you know, yeah, Tampa's off to a hot start. They're 20-3. Baltimore's off to a decent start. They're 15-7. Yankees are just 3 games over 500 right now. They're 13-10. Toronto's 14-9. Minnesota's gotten off to a decent start. They're 13-10. That's a bad division though. The Central. Texas has gotten off to a really good start. They're 14-8. Of course, Atlanta got off to a good start, 15-8. Three of their, I mean, they were 15 and or whatever they were before they played the Astros. Mets aren't bad, haven't been bad. Pittsburgh's been surprising, 16-7 for Pittsburgh. Arizona's leading the West. I don't know how the fuck that's happening, but they're 13-11. The Dodgers are just a game over 500. Padres are at 500. So I mean, it's April, man. It's April. It's April. Okay, it's April. I can't say that enough. It's April. Right, with baseball, you don't even look at the standings until Memorial Day. If Memorial Day comes around, you start paying attention to the baseball standings. But until then, it's just really, like I said, it's worth talking about Tampa being on fire. It's worth talking about the Astros beating the Braves, sweeping the Braves, in these hot starts in Pittsburgh and stuff. It's worth talking about. But as far as getting into that, just absolutely not. No, 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 no. All right. I haven't caught much of the NBA playoffs, but let's go back to last Thursday, or last Tuesday, of course, the 18th, which was the last time that I did the show, and I haven't posted it yet, but hopefully I'll get that posted today. But the Celtics ended up beating the Hawks to take a 2-0 lead in that series. This was last Tuesday, and then the Cavs tied the series with the Knicks at 1, and then the Suns and Clippers were tied at 1, and then we moved to Wednesday of last week. The Grizzlies tied the series with the Lakers at 1. Then the Bucks tied the series with the Heat at 1. And then the Nuggets took a 2-0 lead over the T-Wolves. Then on Thursday, the Sixers beat the Nets to take a 3-0 series lead in that one. The Warriors beat the Kings to take a 2-1 series lead in that one. To get back into that series, the Kings at that point still led it 2-1. Then the Suns beat the Clippers to take a 2-1 series lead in that one. Moving to Friday, the Hawks beat the Celtics. Celtics still up 2-1. Knicks beat the Cavs to go up 2-1, and the Nuggets beat the Timberwolves to go up 3-0 in that one. Then on Saturday, hmm, but then on Saturday, 76ers completed the sweep of the Nets. I did see a little bit of that game on Saturday. The Sixers were down. Didn't have Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was out, and the Nets led most of that game, or a lot of that game, till about the third quarter or so, and maybe to the fourth quarter. And then the 76ers went off. They polished off the sweep, so the 76ers are moving to the next round. The Suns beat the Clippers to go up 3-1. Miami beat Milwaukee to go up 2-1, and then the Lakers beat the Grizzlies to go up 2-1. And then on Sunday, The Knicks beat the Cavs to go up 3-1. The Warriors beat the Kings to go up 2-2. I did see the end of that game. That was a really good game. I did watch some of that game because that was a back and forth game. It was really really good. That was a really good game. Uh, Warriors had, I mean, excuse me, not the Warriors. The Kings had the ball last. They had a chance to win the game. They were only down by one. Throw up a 3-pointer, no good. Warriors tie it at 2. Then the Celtics beat the Hawks and went up 3-1 in that series. Timberwolves beat the Nuggets in overtime to go up 3-1 in that series as well. Then last night, Monday night, the Heat beat the Bucks. The Heat are now up 3-1. I think Giannis is back because Giannis, I mean, the Milwaukee got back in the series, but they still lost last night. And they're down 3-1 in that series now. And then the Lakers beat the Grizzlies, and they're in overtime. And now the Grizzlies are down 3-1 as well. All right, not the Grizzlies. Yeah, the Grizzlies are down 3-1 as well. All right. Now, tonight, we've got the Hawks and the Celtics. Celtics can close it out tonight. They're up 3-1. We've got the Nuggets and T-Wolves. Once again, the Nuggets can close it out. They're up 3-1. And we got the Suns and the Clippers, and guess what? They can close it out at 3. They're up 3-1. So there's 3 games tonight. All 3 games have the potential to be series clinchers tonight. But we've got, these are Central Time, but we've got Hawks at 6:30. Hawks and Celtics 6:30 on TNT. T-Wolves and Nuggets 8 o'clock NBA TV, and then at 9 o'clock Clippers Suns on TNT. So there's your NBA rewind, if you will. Boy, howdy, that's a well rolled cigar. I will tell you that much. Okay. All right, let's get over to hockey. Hockey, yeah. All right. Once again, let's go back to Tuesday of last week. The Rangers beat the Devils to go up 1-0 in that series. The Lightning beat the Maple Leafs to go up 1-0. The Jets beat the Golden Knights 5-1 to go up 1-0. And then the Kraken beat the defending champion Avalanche to go up 1-0. Then on Wednesday, the Stars beat the Wild to even the series at 1. Carolina beat the Islanders to go up 2-0. The Panthers beat the Bruins to tie that series at 1. And then the Oilers beat the Kings to tie that series at 1. Moving to Thursday, Maple Leafs defeat Tampa, tied that series at 1. Rangers beat the Devils to go up 2-0. Kraken and Avalanche beat the Kraken to tie that series at 1. Vegas beats the Winnipeg to tie that series at 1. Then on Friday, the Minnesota beats the Stars to go up 2-1 on Dallas. The Islanders beat the Hurricanes to go up 2-1 in that series. To cut the lead to 2-1. Excuse me. The Brewers beat the Panthers to go up 2-1 in their series, and then the Kings beat the Oilers in overtime, and the Kings went up 2-1 in that series. Move over to Saturday. On Saturday, Vegas double overtime win against Winnipeg. I did see quite a bit of that game as well. I didn't get to see all the game. I saw when they went into overtime. But Vegas ends up pulling that one out, take a 2-1 series lead. Then Toronto beats the Lightning in overtime. Toronto takes a 2-1 series lead. Then the Devils beat the Rangers in overtime to take a 2. The Rangers, they cut that lead to 2-1. And then the Avalanche beat the Kraken 6-4. Caught a little bit of that game. Avs were on fire. Avs take the series lead 2-1. Moving to Sunday. Stars beat the Wild, tie that series up at 2. Then the Hurricanes beat the Islanders to take a 3-1 series lead. Then the Bruins beat the Panthers to take a 3-1 series lead. And then the Oilers beat the Kings in OT to tie that series at 2. And then last night, the Devils beat the Rangers 3-1 to tie that series at 2. The Maple Leafs beat Tampa in overtime to take a 3-1 series lead in that one. Vegas beat Winnipeg to take a 3-1 series lead. And then the Kraken beat the defending champion Avalanche in overtime to tie that series at 2. And so that one's been entertaining thus far. All right, then we go to Tuesday, tonight. Tonight on TBS, 7 o'clock Central Time. It'll be Minnesota at Dallas. That series is tied at 2. We got the Islanders and Hurricanes on ESPN at 6 o'clock. Carolina can close that series out with a win. And then we've got the Kings and the Oilers, ESPN, 7:30. And that one is tied at 2 as well. So there is your NHL playoff rewind, your NBA rewind, and your as far as that goes. Also, college football note. College football games, we're starting to run long too. We're starting to get into that 3.5, 4 hour mark for college football games. And to help speed things up, the college football is getting rid of the you stop the clock after a first down. The clock will roll except within 2 minutes of the first half and the second half. That's basically going to be college's 2 minute warning. Okay. So if you're within 2 minutes of either half, then if you get a first down, clock will stop. They'll reset the chains, and then they'll start the clock again. All right, but they had been doing that for the whole game. I always thought that, and they've been doing that since like 1968 or something like that. I always thought that was kind of stupid because that's a lot of time that you're just sitting there not doing anything. I mean, it just frequent clock stoppages, keeps things from happening. It's like you get a fucking 11:30, you get a like 11:30 kick, and the next game starts at 2:30, and the fucking 11:30 game's still fucking going on, man. It's like, what the hell? So hopefully they'll speed things up. All right, and what they really need to do is take out commercial breaks and shit like that. Unfortunately, they're not going to do that. If you really want to save time, fucking do that. All right, and halftime's long in college too. That's part of the reason for that. But I think it's like a 20-minute halftime or something like that, 24 minutes, something like that. But you gotta have the band perform and this and that and other things and all that stuff. So it is what it is. But that's going to football now. So that's what they're gonna do as far as that goes. So good on that. All right. Let's see if we get any headlines here. Top headlines. Not really. All right. Got the NFL draft coming up this week. Obviously, first round's on Thursday. Second round's on Friday. I think Saturday's rounds 3 and 4. Is that right? And then Sundays might be 3, 4, and 5. It might just be 3 and 4. And then Sunday would be either 6 and 7 or 5, 6 and 7, whatever it is. But looks like Bryce Young is going to be the overall number 1 pick. Looks like Carolina is going to do that. Although for whatever reason, Will Levis, his stock keeps going up, and Vegas odds on Will Levis keep dropping. Looks like he's starting to become the favorite to be taken number 1 overall. So who the hell knows what's going to happen there? And you get the Texans sitting at number 2, who should have the number 1 pick, but they fucked that up. Won their last game. But Caceres should have just benched everybody. There's no way Davis Mills should have started. There's no way that Brandon Cook should have started. They should have just mailed that game in. I mean, the GM should have mailed that game in. That was fucking horrible. But so now they're sitting at number 2. So I think they liked Bryce Young, but now they, and then they liked C.J. Stroud, but then they didn't like C.J. Stroud, and now they kind of like Will Levis, where there's talk of them taking a defensive player. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, man. But there's all kinds of movement and talking, and I don't know what the fuck's going to happen during the draft. I mean, Washington's got like the 16th pick this year. I mean, it's not big of a deal or anything. But as far as like the Texans are concerned, like the number 2, like they need a quarterback, but Do you love Bryce Young? And if Bryce Young is gone, well, you should have. If you loved Bryce Young, you should have lost against the Colts, all right? But Bryce Young's 5'10", buck 95. And then you got C.J. Stroud, who apparently this test, which is kind of like a quarterback IQ test, essentially, how good's your decision making, failed it miserably. His stock's starting to fall. You got Will Levis, who he's got potential, a little inaccurate, but he's built like a quarterback. You know, he's like 6'4", 220 or whatever. All right. I don't know, but he's trying to lose a bunch of games this year and get in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. For next year, that's a risk. You couldn't lose the final game this year. I don't know, man. I don't know. But we'll have more draft talk after the draft happens. But it'll be interesting to see what Carolina does. Be interesting to see what the Texans do. Be interesting to see what a lot of teams do with the NFL draft. But we'll do draft breakdown next week and all that fun stuff. So that's going to do it for the Joltin' Joe Sports Show. Remember to find me on Twitter at JJ Sports Show 63. That's at JJ Sports Show 63. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you next week. Cheers, everybody. Until next week.